Welcome everybody to Buck's Living Room. This is the final episode for the pool with the window in it. Alright. We got a planter over here. Lots of planters. Planters here. Planters along the seawall. Elevation change up here. And this is how you're going to get to the addition. That's going to be over top of the bar area. This is the bar area. Outside seating. Inside seating. They picked a nice color of green river rock. And these stools I did with sonotubes, and then for the footrest part I used masonite. Turned out nice. And then put the same tile on the water line here on top. You want to have something different, because otherwise you can get drunk and not notice there's a stool there and crack your head open. Alright. The window. This turned out good. This was a job. The first window we ordered, the company went out of business and took off with the money. So, alright, first thing we did, formed out for the pool. Then I came and cut out this opening for the window and formed a cavity here to accept the window. Alright, now this thing is heavy, must be about 1,000 pounds. So we lowered it down with a bobcat on straps. Well, the first thing you got to do is inside the cavity, you have to paint 3 coats with an epoxy sealer. Keeps the water from penetrating. So that's on the concrete, and inside you got to make sure you get every little spot. And then you have to paint the window where it goes into the cavity. Has to be painted black so you can't see it from the sides. And it being a different reveal from one side to the next, the paint is different from one side to the next. Okay, once you got that, the acrylic has to sit on blocks. They call for acrylic blocks, but I couldn't find any acrylic thick enough because this is an island and it could take 2 weeks to get something down here that you need. So I used pieces of starboard, which is a marine product, like a marine plastic. And I took a straight edge, a 6 inch by 1 inch aluminum straight edge, and cut it down to the length of the window. Then I took the blocks of starboard and I stuck them to the bottom of the straight edge with double-sided tape. And then I set the straight edge in to the height that I wanted from the top of the starboard to the top of the coping. And then I set it in there, clamped it to exactly where I want it. Then I poured a small amount of non-shrink grout under the blocks. Let that set up. Then I pulled off the straight edge and the blocks were set in the non-shrink grout. Then we lower the window in, position it, and then we have to put non-shrink grout around the 3 sides of the window. The bottom first. I used a funnel. I worked the funnel while somebody else fed the funnel with the non-shrink grout along the bottom. And then I let that just set up. I used an additive. You know, you can use these 2 additives I have for that stuff, which is one increases the flow and one retards the setting up. So it gives you a little more work time because that stuff sets up fast. So I did the bottom first, but as soon as that kicked, before it was dry, so I still had a wet edge, so I had a good bond between the vertical and the horizontal. I had backer rod in here, and then I poured the sides. And luckily, it didn't have any blowouts. So then once that's done, that cures, then you got to come in and you got to caulk it with a Corning caulk on this side and that side. It's a lot of caulk. It was like 10 tubes per side. And I made up tools from Bondo, applicators for cars. That plastic shit, because you can cut it however you want. And that was all set up ahead of time, so I could just run it across there and make it pretty. Now the inside of the pool, I had to figure out a way to stop the plaster before it got to the caulk. As you can see, the black caulk. So I ran one line of glass tile that's like a very light seafoam color along there, so the plasters can come up and stop there, and then and then it doesn't get on top of the grout and look like shit. And then I ran the waterline tile around, and that's about it. And this thing really doesn't bow at all. That is dead straight. It's been about 2 months, maybe 3 months, since I put it in. There's no leaks. I remember reading in a book by a guy named Roy Underhill, who's a traditional woodworker, years ago in 1978. He said, water is relentless. It's constantly looking for a flaw in craftsmanship or material. It won't give up. And so I'm pretty happy with this. That's about it. Nice pool. When the addition goes over top, it's going to be an outside kitchen right here where these steps are. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Buck out.